1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. All right, we're live. So I know what everybody's expecting is going to happen, and that's not going to happen on this stream. That's going to happen at another time. So what I never got to tell you guys was, well, you knew shades of the truth, but you didn't know the whole story. God knows what was going through your head, but I never got a chance to tell you anything. I wanted to. I wanted to tell you what was going on, and I wanted you to know. But you could all tell because I would freak out. Well, that's because I was grieving all the time. And I was always grieving, and I couldn't get over it. And anytime I ever tried to grieve, I would get hurt for my trouble. So I'm held up right now, really held up. And that's not going to change. And you know what I'm getting ready to do. And I'm very scared to do it. I always have been, but it's the right way for me. I should have had a medically assisted death 16 years ago after the blows that I took. Josie, this has nothing to do with what you did. You didn't do anything. I can't count. There's not a grain of sand on the beach that I can pick up and measure anything that you did to me. And there's not a thought in my head of anything you did to me. And no one and nobody could figure out a single thing that you did to me. You didn't do anything to me, Josie. What happened is that your love was very powerful, and I broke during wartime. I did. I had a mental breakdown. I had trouble bathing myself and trouble getting out of bed. I had a friend, and he would help give me a reason to wake up. He'd knock on my door, and he would cheer me up. And without him, I couldn't get out of bed on my free days, my free time, to take a shower. I just would have loafed around all day in bed. That's what I always did while we were dating, Josie, is when I wasn't with you, I didn't have the willpower to get out of bed. I was very depressed and very upset all the time, Josie. How is that your fault? You know, I can point to what's wrong, and I can point to how bad I feel, and I can point to what I'm going to do and what's going to be the result of that. But I can't point to a single thing that you ever did that hurt me. You're without a doubt the single greatest source of inspiration I have ever had in my life. You're so good and you are so pure. God knows what was going through your head. Honestly, it was so long ago. I don't know what was going through your head when we were kids. But I know that you were sweet and you were innocent, but you were nobody's fool and you knew what was going on. Your innocence stemmed out of different factors than my innocence lost. Going through boot camp was really traumatizing for me, and all the innocence I had left, that was gone. You were very, very far removed from that. And the only chance that you ever had to get an idea of what was going on was when you were with me, Josie, and I couldn't tell you the truth because I was ashamed. The simple fact is that I was a fool in boot camp, and I was a fool in school, and I was a fool in every unit that I ever went into. I had a great body, a miraculously strong body, and my ability to shoot firearms was really good. Not out of this world, but right where it needed to be at that point in time that we were in. I just get scared, Josie. That's why I talk to you. I talk to you a lot. And we argue and we fight and we make up. And I tell you how special you are all the time. I do. Tonight's one of those nights I wish you were talking to me. You know, everybody's going to hate me now, Josie, but that's okay because I've already lost everything. The only thing that was of value to me was you, Josie, and I lost that, what was it, 18 years ago now? I stopped caring about anything after that. I did. You probably wonder why I didn't call you back, because I was afraid. I was afraid. I would have had to tell you the truth, Josie. I would have. I would have had to tell you so many things, and I wasn't man enough to do that. And I remember laying in the fetal position wanting to talk to you and wanting to hold you, and I just couldn't. And you were always one phone call away, but I just got too scared. That's what happened, Josie. I just got scared. Everybody's going to hate me at my school. Everyone, your family's going to hate me. My family's going to hate me. People online are going to hate me. Everyone's going to hate me, Josie. Because I got sick in love and I grieve. Complex grief is what I have. It's when you love somebody for more than a day or a year and you do not ever stop grieving. And my complex grief started when I lost you. And that hurt my performance, which was already bad. And I miss you all the time, Josie. And I wish that you were mine. When we met on that beach one day, Josie, I wanted to tell you how hurt I was. I don't remember what we talked about. I had dreams about you about that. It took me 18 years to decode those dreams. But the gist of it is we met there and you didn't want to hurt me. But you actually did see that I was broke down and I still couldn't talk to you about it. I still couldn't talk to you about it. I just wanted to. That's all that was I wanted to talk to you about. And as the time and as I would become more afraid and I'd become more depressed, the chances of us ever encountering again and having a meaningful relationship got farther and farther away. And perhaps had I realized that I was worthy of you the whole time, nothing would have happened. I just didn't realize it, Josie. The love that I had for you and the complex grief, and I'm also bipolar as well, and all the trauma that I went through, you have to understand, my brothers, they threatened to murder me over in Iraq. I just wasn't that good for them. I've been institutionalized more times than I can count. I spent a lot of time in psych wards. Look after my mom. Reassure her that I love her, Josie. It's just very hard. My family had to pick up all the pieces of my service. And that was a heavy pack for us all. I'm very sorry, John. And I'm very sorry, Miss Josephine. You're always on my mind. Miss Josephine, you're so posh. John, you're so handsome and dapper. So this can be taken to represent any will that you have seen written. So You know, it was always funny back in the day because I could fire up a scream and people would be all over the place watching it. And now, no one's here. Isn't that glorious? I think that's the way that it ought to be. When you're just defeated and everybody knows that you're finished. This is all that I have left, Josie, in the whole world. You know, I built myself a great business and it's profitable. I have tenants. They're going to be without a landlord now. And they never knew what was going on. They're going to find out that I'm dead. It's 10:11 p.m. right now, Eastern time. And in the next couple of days, they're going to find out that I'm dead. I'm going to shoot myself in the face, Josie. Not really the face, but my forehead. You can see right here where it's red. I've been leaning against my rifle. I'm all in, Josie. It ends. But I just have so much to vent, and I'm lucky that there's no one to listen. My will. So obviously there's a huge list of names going about of the people that sexually assaulted me. What do I want to happen to them? You think? What do you think, guys, at Rochester General? All your names are out. God knows where they're going to go. You're guilty of participating in a sexual assault against a veteran. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good. All you had to do was let me see a doctor. That's all that you had to do. You sexually assaulted me, and you never let me see a doctor, but you didn't put a bullet in my head? Who would want to survive that? You should have killed me when you had the chance. You know, I lived to put a bullet in each of your head, and I never did. I'm not really a Christian man, but a part of me definitely does believe in God, and I never for a second thought that that would be the right thing to do. Even now, but your names are released. Look at how you beat me. I was grieving over Josie when you did that to me. I called out for Josie on that table. I said, don't you know who I am? I once had Josie. I warned you. I knew the Ford family. I told you. While you were ripping my clothes off, while you were making fun of me. You made jokes about my penis, and there were young girls there. That's torture. You know that, right? You know, if I was to do that to a prisoner of war, I'd probably get killed. I hope to God we don't do that to prisoners of war, but you know that happens. But the difference is when that happens to you in war and someone is your enemy and they do that, you take it with a grain of salt. You accept the pain, you swallow it, you break, you go mad, whatever, but you know the people are hurting you, they're your enemy. When it happens in the United States, you break and you can't ever come together. I definitely didn't snap. I definitely didn't snap. I just broke. You broke me. You broke me on that table and you were victorious and you came up with your own petty reasons for doing it, not understanding that I had made a deal, a silent deal to go to the hospital and see a doctor. And as soon as I got there, you put your hands all over me. I know you're going to come up with your stories, and that's just going to make it worse for you. I'm owed at least $2 million per head. I'm owed close to $32 million after what happened to me, and everybody knows it. And here I am penniless. And I'm going to blow my brains out. I will. I hate you. So I've got a rifle. It's a 308 rifle. And that's what I'm going to shoot myself right here with. The bullet's going to go through 2,800 feet per second. It's a 160 grain projectile. For the most part, it's full metal jacket except for the tip, which is lead cast. It's probably a hard lead cast, but it could be a soft lead cast. So the entry wound is going to be 308, but the exit wound is going to be about 1 inch. It's a hunting round. There's no way I'll survive. Second, I look at where it's pointing. Right there. It's going to go clean through my entire brain. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. It's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to die. And everybody knows why. Again, Josie, I could manage without you, just barely. But 6 months out of the year, I would grieve for you. And why wouldn't I grieve for you? I went insane in the military and I lost the best part of my life. And I grieved for you then. Right when I lost you, I grieved. I just got too scared to call you back. That's all. Josie, that's all that happened. I met your mother at the racquetball club back in 2007, 2008. I was working out. And I was still ashamed and I was grieving terribly for you and I was depressed and I was in shock. I had already gone into my first trip to the asylum. And as soon as I got out, I started working again and saving my money. And I met your mother there at the racquetball club. Now it's the, what do you call it? The Habitat for Humanity. But I was working out and your mom was working with this lady. And as I left, and I left in shame with my tail between my legs, I heard your mother, Josephine, say, "There goes the man that broke my daughter's heart." That's what your mother said. I would later be serving at the Rochester Riverside Convention Center in about 2007, 2008, right before the markets collapsed. And I had saved a lot of money and all I wanted to do was be like your father. Your father was there doing wine tasting at the Rochester Riverside Convention Center. I was catering that night and I was serving. I just about looked your father right in the eyes, but there's no way he could have recognized me. And even if he did, he didn't say anything. But I saw him there and I just stayed away in my shame. And it wouldn't be too long until I'd be back in the psych ward after that. And then I would work and I would save up many, many thousands of dollars in the market. And all I could think of after losing you, Josie, was that if I could be rich, I could stand shoulder to shoulder with you, your family, and your father. That's what was going through my mind. And then the markets collapsed, and of course I broke. I went fucking absolutely insane, and back into the psych ward when I went. I went to the Canandaigua Academy. My will is that they hear this. They sent their worst. That's how the Canandaigua Academy and that's how the city of Canandaigua, New York wanted to win their war overseas. They wanted to win and they hoped and they expected to win their war by sending their worst and their bravest, while their best stayed at home. Their best stayed at home while they sent their youngest, dumbest, worst, and bravest. And that's how they wanted to win their war overseas. It is the truth that how a man endeavors to win in this world is his own silent admission of how he is willing to accept his own defeat. If you win a war by sending your worst, then in some way, shape, or form, you're going to get a payback for that, and your worst are going to beat you at home. That's how you want to win. That's how you're going to lose. You want to win by cheating? Guess what? You're going to lose by cheating. Josie, I lost you. I'm sorry. And with you, I lost my honor. My brothers took the lion's share of my honor from me, my pride and my dignity and my valor. I had survived an IED over in Iraq. My driver's name was Girolamo Guida. We had Davis in the back, Lance Corporal Davis, Lance Corporal Tutler, and we had Corporal Simone. and we had Lance Corporal Hurst in the back, and I never did get a combat action for that. Hi, Girolamo. You're a good man. Thanks for letting me stay with your parents for a couple days after we got home on leave from deployment. I did pretty well, all things considering, since our boys threatened to murder me. You all knew that they did that, didn't you, Girolamo? And you saw how tore up I was when I got back, and you knew I was depressed. Everybody did. How did you think I took all that? You know, I had a friend from Canandaigua who was in 1-8 Bravo, and he went over to see how I was doing. You guys didn't tell him anything good about that. Yeah. Your dirty little secret's getting out. You think I should spill the beans about you? Lance Corporal, what's your name? And Corporal, what's your name about what you did and what you said? How you tricked me into that gear locker? Nah, I'm going to let you guys float because we're brothers. But I've definitely been planning on killing all of you for nearly 20 years now for what you did. Finally, I would end up forgiving you. I did. I actually forgave you all. And I discovered love for you that I didn't know was even possible. In each of you and myself, I saw my weakness and our boyhood dreams getting blown up in our face, and our fears and our trauma dictating us like some horror story out of the Lord of the Flies. I'll be back. So I definitely get to have my eternal rest on this night or on this morning. That's a goddamn guarantee. So I've got a 12 gauge 870 Super Magnum, and it's loaded to the gills with light field commander slugs. These are commander slugs. 1,870 feet per second, and it's nearly an ounce, if not more. It'll go right through steel. I've seen it. Nobody gets in the way of my eternal sleep tonight. I've wanted to die for years, every single day. I'll be taking a 308 Winchester to the head. There will be no resuscitation. There will be no treatment. There will only be my end. There will only be my end. So on to my will. So it is my will I've written some things down and my mother's going to see it, and the police are gonna I wrote some very bad stuff. I was in a high temper, and that's to make sure that the police or nobody resuscitates me in any capacity. My head will be a canoe. That's not possible. But it's to make sure. If they do resuscitate me, there won't be anything left of me, and I'll be brain dead until the day that I die, and then they will have to give me a medically assisted death, so I'll be finished. I'm going to take a 308 Winchester going here. It's traveling 2,900 feet per second. My brain is going to explode. My brain is going to explode. I will instantly die. But if I should live by a miracle, I will terrorize my family. I will. I have secrets about each and every one of them, and I will spill the beans. I will. If anybody resuscitates me or treats me, Josie, this is so important to me. I'm serious. I have dreamed of dying, but the thing is I'm so afraid. I get so scared. And then I always think about you and I figure, well, we'll just go on. But after what happened at Rochester General, no. It's been 7 years. I don't forgive. I'm owed millions and millions of dollars. I don't have a penny for it. All I do is loathe my life and have eternal love for you. If somebody forces me to live through this, there's going to be hell. There will be. There will be hell until the day that I die. If people force me to live, then they'll be forcing themselves to trot through the worst hell imaginable because I won't stop talking. I won't. Jesus, I'm freaking scared. So, I am just very freaking scared all the time. Thank God no one's watching my stream. But have no fear, I'm not going to kill myself while the stream is playing. No way. When I feel ready for it, then I'll do it. I have 8 cigarettes left. Dante, you're released of any burden you thought that you had. You have to understand, I went nuts. So Dante, first and foremost, there are no expectations on you, and you're set free from whatever bond you thought was holding you back. I know if I was going to live for another day, I would make sure that if I ever spoke anybody's name, it would only be to offer my praise and my thanks to witness their strength. That's all I could say. So you're set free. Schizo, I thought you were a fantastic friend. Unfortunately, I'm insane. Nothing that happened to me is your fault. The only thing I don't like about the online cultures is that the more that you study it, the more you find it's all just a reflection of what's what's happening on Reddit or Quora or 4chan or some other sites like that. So it's not just that it's cliquey, which it is, but there's intermingling cliques, but it's kind of culty. Everybody's just trying to gain an edge by destroying each other. And that's how people want to win. That's why everybody's so anonymous these days, because they know that they can't throw themselves out there, because if they do, if you talk to one person, then you're aligning to one side. If you talk to another person, then you're stabbing someone in the back that you didn't know how high the stakes were and they were in on it. Everybody is just setting you up. That's all anybody's doing. It's a lie. It's the illusion that you can actually have relationships online, and to think anything else puts you in a delusional state, and you see what happens each and every time. So you want my opinion? You're a good man, Schizo, or a good young man, whoever you are, or however old you are. I always liked you. You would have made a good confidant. But in the end, I just couldn't take it, and I went fucking nuts. Sorry to say that, everybody. But I did. I went nuts. I went nuts 18 years ago. That's none of your fault. What are you going to do to stop that? I was the first to successfully complete an upside-down one-handed riffle with a standard deck of cards fresh out of the box, and I was the first person to do a two-handed, simultaneous, upside-down one-handed riffle, one in each hand. I did it live. All the proof of that's been destroyed, but there's many witnesses. Fallout, all I wanted you to understand was that these tattoos represented my pain and my loss for Josie. I wasn't some hardcore veteran that was like, here's my battle scars. My battle scars were my heart. My heart was hurt. And I wore that on my sleeves everywhere that I went. And everybody knew something was wrong, but I never told anybody what was happening. The only people that knew were at the Canandaigua VA Medical Center or in Clifton Springs in New York. Mom, I love you. The letter you're going to see is pretty bad. And I walk on the fence of loving you and hating you every minute of my life. And that's between me and you and God and the bullet that's going to go through my brain. It's going to happen. A lot of people told me how hard they worked to pick their life up after they got hurt. They say, oh, I got divorced at the age of 58. And look at me, I'm still working. Okay, did anybody fucking prison style goddamn molest you in a hospital too? So that's all you got to talk about is how you lost your loved one and then you picked it up and then you went back strong, harder than ever? Try having a mental breakdown in wartime and you lose a Ford and you lose the woman of your dreams. I talked to a woman today and all she did was tell me that I was narcissistic. Are you kidding me? I carried my tenants through COVID and I paid for the government's mistake. Is that a narcissist? Would a narcissist stay away from Josie for 18 consecutive years and never even once approach her in any capacity at all? Is that what a narcissist would do? That's what someone with bipolar, who has complicated grief, who has wartime excessive shock and trauma, stabbing in the back, and depression and horror. That's how you behave. Anyways, at any rate, this lady just told me how hard she worked and that I was a narcissist. People in my family have just told me, hey, just work harder. Hey, look how hard I worked. Look how hard I worked. Look at all the money I have. I have $16,000 in my bank account. You told me to work hard. I did work hard. I'm still not happy. You want me to work a little harder and make even more money than you have? Really? Because if your condition for winning is telling me, a destroyed man, that I just need to work harder, and I've already lost and I have no win condition in sight, then this losing man who you've crushed is now going to come back at you and say, guess what? I have been working harder than you. Because even if you worked a 12-hour day, I was working 24 hours a day just to hold it all together. And there is nothing that I want that would satiate my thirst. I have more money than most people ever will have, and I'm still not happy. And yes, Dante, you were like a son to me. There never was anything more simple than that. I think some people thought so, but that's not my bag. I have complex grief over a woman. And I'm straight, and I'm not gay or anything like that, but I think people got the wrong idea. And because I'm bipolar, it's impossible for me to really get a hold of my feelings, so I'm always freaking the hell out. And really all I wanted to say is that you're like a son to me, and that I only wished you the best, Dante. That's it. That's it. All I ever wished for you was the best. That's all I ever wished for you was the best. I want to come back to the Fallout community, and I want to make games for you. But what good could I possibly be for any of you? I'm fucking nuts. I am. I know that when you talk to me and when you listen to me, there are times that you can see the calm. But this storm you don't see. It's constantly in a state of flux. I'm bipolar. Oh, I miss all you guys. I just wish I could have been more honest with you guys and let you know what was going on. That's all I wanted was, I wanted to be your friends. But the thing was, is I had so much life experience that you guys didn't have. And I knew that if I didn't give you information quick, then you would fall into traps. And in that capacity, I was not really suited to be your friend because I was always scared. I was, and I was scared. I'm sorry, everybody. You're all good kids. The analytics show that most of you are pretty young. You're good kids. And you'll grow up to be very, very fine. And you did get to serve my country by spending some time with a grieving Marine. My brothers stole my honor and they stole my valor. And quite frankly, they each deserve death for that, and I'll not say their names. Hmm. So Gola, you weren't a troll, were you? But how could I tell the difference? I was losing my mind all the time. How could I have ever known if you were a troll or if you weren't? You can join on this stream. I'm going to kill myself, and that there's no doubt about it. I'm going to blow my brains out. I really am that upset, and I have been this upset for 18 years. What pushed me over the hedge was Rochester General Hospital. That was a sexual assault, and for years all I did was scream and fight. And after I left that hospital, I became infected in my organs, and my intestines started to rot. Don't worry, I'm not going to blow my brains out on stream. When I've had enough, when I've finished my smokes, I'll shut the stream down. You can be with me or you cannot. But this is the last time I live. And anybody that tries to interfere with that is going to get shot in the chest with 12 gauge Commander 3.5-inch slugs that can shoot clean through a grizzly bear from head to tail. I could kill a blue whale with one shot of this thing, and it would go through 60 inches of its flesh, if not more. I just wanted you guys to know what was going on, and I'm sorry. I won't kill myself on this stream, but as soon as I shut it down, that 308 goes through my head. I'm so sorry, everybody. It is also my will for people to understand what's going on in the Ukraine. What was that guy's name? Who's that leader in Ukraine? His name is Vladimir Zelensky. It is my will twofold how we see this Ukraine war in the United States and in the world and in the Fallout community. It's twofold because you can think whatever you want, and I'm in no way, shape, or form programming or coaching. What I'm saying is, will you please spend time with me? Will someone please spend some goddamn time with me? please, will you come and spend some time with me? Yes, I'm desperate, and yes, this is horrible. I don't give a fuck. I've not been able to speak the truth in 20 years. And now I'm finally speaking the truth and how bad it hurts. And now I need someone, and I'm going to kill myself. It's true. It's true. It'll be painless. The simple fact is that Vladimir Zelensky is a hero. He's a hero because he had an opportunity to save him and his people by bombing Chernobyl. If he had attacked or rocketed Chernobyl, he could have false flagged it on Putin, and he would have confused the entire world, and then people wouldn't know who to go to war with. But then obviously Ukraine would get asylum, and they would rest under the umbrella of the United States in the United States bosom. And then we would have gone in, and we would have saved the day, and we would have put a blanket on Ukraine, and we would have fixed that toxic nuclear fire. And then everybody would be pointing fingers at Russia. And boy, would we be in the mother of all wars. That is the simple fact, ladies and gentlemen, is that Vladimir Zelensky is a freaking hero. Had it been anybody else with that kind of power, they would have set their sights on Chernobyl, false flagged it, and then knew that they would have been able to get the protection from United Nations and NATO forces and everything like that. That's the truth. Why do you think Putin wanted Chernobyl? Because Putin wanted Chernobyl because he knew that we were going to shoot 90 to 100% of his ballistic missiles out of the sky if it ever came to a ballistic war. And so since he'd know that he'd never get any of his rockets to actually land on our territory, he'd know that the only thing that would happen is that our rockets and our bombs would land on his. Putin and his oligarchs, they did rationalize this, and soundly, and they determined that now is the best time to strike Ukraine and take over Chernobyl. Because as soon as they had that, then they had mutually assured destruction in the bag. Now, as a last stand, Putin can always threaten Chernobyl. But had we been wiser and had we been smarter, then we would have seized Chernobyl, and that never would have happened. But then we would be in charge of Ukraine and Chernobyl, and then nobody in the world would have a failsafe. Nobody would have a safe way out. Does this seem like the rambling of somebody who's stupid? No, I'm totally with it. So that's why Putin and his oligarchs wanted Ukraine. They never wanted Ukraine for the land. They could have cared less about that. They do care less. They wanted Chernobyl because they knew with Chernobyl then we couldn't do anything. And now they can trade with China any which way that they want, and they can manipulate currencies, and they can create new currencies, and then nobody can do anything about it. Veterans could actually take control of the entire world. They could do it because they could buy up all the prime real estate and all the investment opportunities using the VA home loan, and taxpayer dollars would be financing the whole thing. After about 10 or 20 years, veterans would own all the best real estate and all the best investment opportunities. And that would put us in charge of the entire mortgage market. We would. Veterans would take care. My will is that we do that finally once and for all. We take care of the real estate market, and then we do hold all of that in our vest, and that becomes our armor. The way that these civilians endeavor to win their wars by throwing us overseas is inevitably going to be the way that they lose it. We're not going to be able to get the best of Putin anymore. We can still get the best of China, because we can always just false flag New York City and then counterattack Shanghai and Hong Kong. Sure, we'll lose several millions in New York City, but we'll attack it with non-nuclear means, and then we'll false flag it on China, and then we will hit Shanghai and Hong Kong. With nuclear or non-nuclear strikes, it's not going to make a difference because we're just setting them up to be a slave state at that point. The reality is that our air defense and our ballistic offense and our defense and our ability to retaliate in the air, on the land, and the sea is simply unsurpassed, and it's not close, and it won't be close for another 10 or 20 years, and by then we'll be 1,000 years beyond. They don't stand a chance. So China's up for grabs to be a slave state, and it's my will that you at least acknowledge that reality. And that's the truth. And we do not know when the next strike is going to be, but I can promise you it'll be a false flag. Will it be Al Qaeda? Will it be the Taliban? Will it be Alibaba? Who knows who this is going to be? But it's going to be China, who we blame. It's going to be the Chinese that we blame. And we have an opportunity of a lifetime in the United States to decapitate the heads of all leaders in China, and then for once give them the revolution that they so deeply desire. The problem is that they're not 100% willing to go with the free market, but after a revolution, the black market is going to become more of a free market. Right now, we see black market as a quasi-free market scenario. It's going to blossom into pure free market. It'll be mostly unregulated too. We'll be barking them orders of what to produce here from the mainland, but everybody can smell the fart from the stall next door, and everybody can see the writing on the wall. Though it's been written with little balls of shit, they can still see it and understand it quite clearly. I just get so scared. I get so scared. And I don't trust the police anymore. And I don't trust doctors, and I don't trust nurses. And I don't trust the right. I've been studying Ben Shapiro for years and his arguments, and he does make good arguments, and he does a good job destroying kids with his arguments. But Ben Shapiro, what would you say if I said, hey, did you know that your wife is a doctor and I can't stand you for that? What if I told you that once this goes public, then doctors and nurses are going to need more security than ever? Phone lines getting clogged up by prank calls, bomb threats, and stuff like that. Doctors and nurses going to be needing private security. Look what they did to a veteran. Yeah, your wife's a doctor. I wonder what she's hiding, Ben. What do you think your doctor's hiding? Do I have reason to loathe her? I'll bet I do. Yeah, with all the protection that she gets from her guards and her goons, she would stop at nothing to heal someone, even if it meant to destroy them. Because that's the oath they swear, right? What it really boils down to is a judgment call made by doctors and nurses and people who work at hospitals. They'll either do the right things or they don't. If they do the right things, then nobody gets hurt. But regardless, they're in the protection of people with guns. And if they do the wrong things, then they do hurt somebody, and they're in the protection of somebody with guns. So they get away with it. As far as I'm concerned, your wife her hands are clean. So everything's going to get buried, Josie. You'll watch this and you'll cry, and because you know you didn't do anything wrong, you'll quickly get over this. You'll grieve for a little bit, finally understanding what I've always wanted to tell you and how I always felt. You'll always know that even if we didn't break up, it was just going to happen eventually. The only shame that I have is that my family took all the load and your family didn't. I needed help. And boy, did I need your family's help. I needed your family's love, and I needed your family's protection. Your Fords. Inglefords, for Christ's sake. Don't ever forget what you stand for. You're Inglefords. That means you stand for the best of us. You have the best qualities that a man and a woman can ever have as Inglefords. You're the keepers of grace. Not masters or pioneers of good faith or moral or ethical behavior, but you're simple followers like the rest of us, doing our best. Each of you are hard workers. That is an absolute fact. One of you even has a patent for a steering wheel. I wish I wasn't alone, but I guess that's the only way. I wish I wasn't alone. People say funny things online. Please don't let me go alone after all of this. Just somebody be with me, please. I have 6 cigarettes left. American Spirit, the dark, dark blue pack. With this suicide, I do hereby restore my honor to its full-bloom glory. Death is my only way out. It's the only way I get my honor back. And I want vengeance for the people that hurt me at Rochester General. That's how they wanted to win. They wanted to surround me with goons and not listen to a word that I said. I needed to talk to someone that night. I needed to talk to someone in my heart. And they beat someone down that needed to talk. And they raped me. They did. They raped me. And for that, I want my revenge. None of them ever get to work in hospitals again. I've given them seven years to pack their piggy banks to the gills, and I hope that they've stashed every penny that they could. That piggy bank ought to be looking like a chipmunk whose cheeks are filled with too many fucking peanuts at this point. They had their chance, each and every one of them. And I know every single night they had trouble sleeping, wonder if I would kill them. No, everything's going to come out. We're going to let the mob decide what to do with you people. Your names are out all over the place now, and they're getting spread around. God knows what's going to come to you people. The way you ripped my clothes off and you held me down, I want you to be held down, and I want your clothes ripped off. You want to make jokes about me and my penis? That's Josie's fucking property. I want someone to do that to you, to rip your clothes off, men and women, and to make jokes about your fucking penises and your vaginas. How do you think about that? Well, you're held down by people like me, by veterans who are at the bottom and other people who are at the bottom, as low as it goes. And then, yes, I want things forced into your body. Catheters, whatever, I don't even care. You should have put a bullet in my head and you let me go. You thought I could live with what you did? And you never let me see a doctor? I went in to vent. All I wanted to do was vent, and you did hurt me. Everybody's going to listen to the stories and the justifications that you guys are spilling. And all the time, I was surrounded by 14 people who were tricking and lying and kidnapping me legally. They're kidnappers. They're kidnappers, each and every one of them. They sexually assaulted me, and obviously I want them to be sexually assaulted as well. Yeah, your names are all over the fucking place right now. And you're never going to know where those names are going, dude. All of your names. You want me to read the list of your names that went out? Oh, you're going to love this list of names that went out. It's everywhere now. It is everywhere. Woo-wee! Those names are everywhere. We got Ewing James R, MD. Huiatt Huiatt Kelly R, MD. Brittany Matthews Brittany. Langton Diane RN. Goodwin Olivia. Bartolick Christine M RN. Bodine Larissa. Eddie Lab In Hiseven. I don't know if that's code. Sullivan Brittany. Parajon, not Paragon, not a paragon of anything, a paragon of filth. Robert, Paragon Robert. Kelly Stacy. Warney Donald. Vaccarelli Laura. Siddons Meghan. Bach Colleen Q. Hill Shelly. Pack Lucinda RN. Do you realize how often and how much I scream and I cry out at night after what you guys did? And you come up with your petty little excuses and your reasons to do it? You should each be killed. Every night for 7 years, I fought the temptation to kill you. You're going to get something very bad is coming your way. Very bad. I own 1054 Lyle Avenue, Rochester, New York. Someone better go over there and tell my guy upstairs that I'm dead. And I own 290/292 Castle Street in Geneva, New York. Someone better tell my 4 people that I'm dead, because ain't no one going to take care of them. There's a guy I owe about $8,000 more, and I could pay him off right now. You want to know? You want to know the reason that I don't pay him off? Because when I told him that I suffered, all he did was tell me how much he conquered. That's how he wanted to win, and he's a God-fearing man. He's lucky I gave him $20,000. He's not going to get another penny more. And there's no legal document that he can cling to guarantee that he gets another penny, and it's my will that he doesn't. All you did was tell me how strong you were. You told me how many certifications you had. You told me how qualified you were and how strong you were, and about your family and about your position in your community and how hard you worked. That's how you wanted to beat me. Well, that's how you're going to lose. And consider yourself fucking lucky that I gave you $20,000. I have all the other money that you want, and you're never going to see another penny of it. You're a God-fearing man. You told me that you asked God to reveal himself, and he did, and then you started to float. And you said, if you really want to believe in God, ask God to reveal something to you. I told you all I wanted was to be a hero. And so one day I saw a big smoke signal over the top shopping center down the Panorama Trail where I live. And there was a huge smoke cloud in the back. I looked around. There were people in the parking lot. They had heavy industrial tools out, and they were melting tar, and they were heating asphalt. So my first impression was, well, let's go talk to these guys because they're probably melting a lot of asphalt and heating a lot of tar behind that building. So I asked them, I go, hey, there's a big smoke plume out there. Is that you guys? They said no. And I said, well, then that's my chance. I can save someone's life. So I went back there to save someone's life. And I ran with my bad knee as fast as I could, fully intent to run into the fire. And you know what God showed me? There was nobody to be saved. There was a dumpster fire. You asked God, you told me to ask God to reveal himself to me, and then I did. And guess what he did? He showed me my true heart and everything that I wanted in this world. That all I've grieved for is Josie, and it's hurt me so much, and it's destroyed my life, and I cannot get over her because the grief has become so complicated. And now every time I think about Rochester General, Josie's name pops up. So I knew I had to redeem myself. I had to become a hero. So to become a hero, I had to save somebody's life. And then when I gave it my all 100%, and you can bet your ass my knee was killing me, I ran with all I had to save life. And God showed me a dumpster fire. That's what God showed me, a dumpster fire. My life is a wreck. It is a dumpster fire. A big heap of trash burning away. And you can see the dark clouds of toxic smoke from miles away. And you can smell it too, and it's hot and it's nasty and it's just not good, and it stinks of rotten trash burning. That's my life. That's my life. Hmm. Hmm. I think I'll probably just cry when I shoot myself. I think that's what's going to happen, is I'll just cry again. I've been crying a lot. I was crying so hard a couple days ago that I just had to leave my house, and there was a girl that I saw, and I just ran right up to her and I just held her as tight as I could, and I just screamed and cried. I had never cried so hard in my life. And then she took me inside her home and she rested my head on her lap and she just stroked my head and she rubbed her fingers through my hair and she soothed me. And that was helpful. And I cried so hard. And I told her that what I wanted was death. I told her that what I wanted was a peaceful death, not a violent one. I wanted a medically assisted death, but we don't offer that here in the United States. And anytime you talk about suicide, they send a mob of police to your house to catch you, but ain't no one catching me now. Ain't no one catching me. Ain't no one catching me. I got this place trapped up. I'm not going out to hurt anybody, but anybody who comes in here to stop this is going to die. Nobody stops this. I die. I die. I just want someone to be with me. I've been alone for a very, very long time. It's all I want. And I do get scared. And I'm scared all the time, really. Every time I try to talk about what's going on, I always have this ever-present fear that someone's going to take me away. And I don't want to get taken away anymore. I don't want to do any more time. I am reformed. 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 I promise you I'm reformed. So this is... I had 6. This will be my 6th. I now have 6 cigarettes left. But the second I light this, I'll only have 5. You make me suffer alone. You make me suffer alone. That's how you guys want me to go down. Is you want me to suffer alone. I wish somebody would hold my hand. That's all I've ever wanted, is for someone just to hold my goddamn hand, for Christ's sake. All I wanted to do is just rest my head on someone, anybody's lap, and just have them run their hand through my hair. It's all that I wanted. No one comes in that door. No one stops me. I have the trigger set up with a line. All I got to do is pull it. And anybody who comes through that door, boy, are they going to get some fucking hell. Boy, are they going to catch fucking hell. No one fucks with me. No one gets to hurt me anymore. Nobody gets to lock me away and pretend that what I say isn't valid. No one gets to tell me how hard they fucking work and how they rebounded off of nothing burger fucking issues. And nobody gets to rip my clothes off. Nobody gets to sexually assault me anymore. No one gets any of that. No one ever gets to touch me like that ever again. Ever. Never. So filled with rage is what they did to me at Rochester General that I cannot live with it. Absolutely. Again, Josie, with you, without you, I could carry on. I would continue to go in and out of psych wards for the next 60 years. And I would probably die from brain injuries, just trauma and heart attack and stroke, but I could have made it. What happened at Rochester General, I cannot survive that. That's too much. Hmm. Hmm. I can't take that. I just can't. And anybody that expects me to just take that, no. There's only 3 ways that that should have went down. One, after they sexually assaulted me, they should have killed me. Or I should have killed each and every one of them, which I didn't. Or I commit suicide. That's the only thing that works for me. That's the only thing that works for me. I just want someone to hold my hand. Hmm. 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 I know I made it so that you can't hit the like button or the thumbs down button. No one's ever going to know what you think. And I made it so that you can't do comments. Think about that. My whole channel's going to get ghosted when I'm dead. Hmm. 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 I just hope that somebody's out there. I just need someone to hold my hand. Alone for the past 18 years with no one to talk to. I couldn't tell anybody the truth because I was so ashamed, and then this is how I go down. I go down finally telling the result and being what happened and the truth and being more or less set free by that. But after what everybody knows, there's no way that I can make a soft landing. I don't care if everybody hates me after this. It makes no difference. I'll be dead. Whatever anybody thinks or whatever anybody's hangups are. I mean, look at how everybody won. Look at how I lost. Look at how I got beat. Abandoned and stabbed in the back by my own country. Stabbed in the back and threatened to be murdered by my brothers in Iraq. Stabbed in the back and betrayed. Driven fucking batshit insane by my brothers, losing my woman. That's how I lost. And then again, I die stabbed in the back. I die stabbed in the fucking back. Stabbed in the back. I die stabbed in the fucking back. Isn't that a great way to go down, folks? Stabbed in the back by your country. Left for fucking dead. I reached out for help today and people tried to call the police on me, so I hung up. They tried to transfer me to a crisis line. Several weeks ago, I wanted grief counseling for what happened at Rochester General at the Canandaigua VA Medical Center, and they called the police on me. What are they going to do? They're going to invade my house? I wasn't going to hurt nobody. At that time, I could have been saved. But that was a stab in the back. That broke my back. Just so we're fucking clear, Canandaigua VA Medical Center. You stabbed me in the fucking back is what you did. It is my will. I do not want any Canandaigua buses to drive through that Canandaigua VA Medical Center ever again. Ever again. No buses, and it is also my will that none of the Canandaigua students in any of the grades be allowed to physically have physical activities like running and jogging through that VA Medical Center at Canandaigua. No one from Canandaigua Academy gets to do that ever again. Ever. Nobody gets to do that. Thank you for being here. Jesus Christ. Thank you. Good God Almighty. I won't kill myself on the stream. I'll turn it off. I have 5 cigarettes left. Thank you for being here. You're a hero. You're a fucking hero. You know that? For being here? You're a fucking hero. Whoever you are. No buses get to go. The only people from the Canandaigua school system that get to move through that VA Medical Center are kids walking to and from school. No more athletic ventures going through there. And no buses, and I'm serious about that. No buses can go through there. Ever again. You do that to me? You call the police on me when I'm trying to get help for a sexual assault and you call the fucking police? Yeah. Yeah. Fucking absolutely. Fucking absolutely. Fucking absolutely. Make no mistake about it, I was 100% sexually assaulted. And I told the VA Medical Center 7 years ago and they didn't do anything. You motherfuckers at the Canandaigua VA and even in the Rochester Outpatient Clinic, you're lucky I don't spill your names. You know, if people found out who you were, you'd probably be killed. You are so fucking lucky is what you all are that I don't say your names. The only way I'm ever going to get justice and have the VA repaired is to not cause an epic screw job over there, but you people are fucked. You are fucked. You people are epically fucked for what you did. Anyone comes through my door, they're going to get slugs to the chest. I get to die in peace. I called a hospital today and I asked if they could give me a medically assisted death. And they said, no, I don't qualify because I'm not terminally ill. What the fuck do you want from me? I've got bipolar disorder, extreme, ridiculous, over the top war trauma. I've been sexually assaulted at a hospital. And the only help anybody can think of is to send me into a psych ward. And you say I'm not terminally ill? I'm fucking finished. I'm a dead fucking man. And I grieve endlessly for Josie. And it never ends. And you say I don't deserve a peaceful death? My brothers stole my valor. How could I come home and brag about surviving an IED? How could I come home and brag about being a squad leader in Iraq after what happened to me? How could I brag about that? Oh no, my phone's in airplane mode and I turned it off. Anybody trying to triangulate, that ain't gonna fucking happen. That ain't gonna fucking happen. Tonight I get to rest in peace. It's gonna be a bloody fucking mess. My mom's gonna see it. She ain't gonna fucking like it. And she would have liked it a whole lot more if I could have just went to a hospital and taken a pill, and I would have fucking popped it without fail. I have nothing to fucking live for. You point to my bank account with my fucking thousands of dollars, and you point to my homes and my tenants and my multiple streams of revenue, and you say I have everything to live for. I don't even consider that. That's not a win condition for me. That's still a loss. That's a loss for me. That is a fucking loss for me. Hmm. 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 I just want to talk to someone. I don't want to go to a hospital, and I don't want the police to come. I won't. You know who I'm talking to right now. And all I wanted was someone to be with. And you guys shut me down like this? Of course I'm not going to say your names. If I wanted to, I could destroy your fucking channel. And I won't do that. I do just want to talk to you people. I do. That's just what I want to do, is I just want to talk to you people. I'm willing to be civil, but don't. Yes. I told you I'm streaming live. I'm him. God damn it. It's me. I'm trying to talk to someone on a channel that I'm not going to name. And they think I'm some troll making up stories. And that's not the case. I reached out to as many people as I could to get help, and they just told me how hard they were working and how hard that they were working to get by. And then people just ignore me. That's just the way that it works. I understand. I get it. I understand. And I guess that's just the solution to perhaps, well, I could use a friend. Yes, and it is true. This is my final night on this earth. And I'll be swept under the rug like I never even existed. This is how I go down. I lost everything for this fucking country, and I go down this way. Don't worry. Don't worry, buddy, channel. I have your whole channel and your fucking future in the palm of my hands, and I'm not going to squeeze. I knew a guy named John once, John Engel. John Engel once said, looking back at everything that he'd built with his hands, and he said, I do believe in God. I understood what he meant when he said that. He had spent 40 years building his family and his business up with his bare hands. And he looked back at everything he built in his time, and he saw that it was good. At this time, I believe in God because of what I hold with my hands, not because of what I've built with them. I hold things in my hand, and if at any time I want to squeeze and crush, I could destroy, and I won't do it. That's all the evidence that I needed to know that God existed, that he would show me a dumpster fire, and that was my life, and that he would show me my ridiculous potential by putting a lot of other people in my hands. And the only people that I'm squeezing is Rochester General Hospital. They're the only people that get squeezed. And you know exactly what I want done with them. You know exactly what I want done with them. Just so we're clear who these people are that sexually assaulted me. Just so we're all fucking clear. Their names are going in the description. These people, they work at the Rochester General Hospital. Don't subscribe to me. Don't subscribe to me. Don't subscribe. You read that list and you pass that list around. Do whatever you got to do. You pass that list around. These people are guilty of a sexual assault. All those people. James, Kelly, Matthew, Diana, Olivia, Kristen, Larissa, Brittany, Robert, Stacy, Donald, Laura, Meghan, Colleen, Shelly, and Lucinda. And you pass those fucking names around, you get them out. And I don't care what happens to them. Nobody else gets crushed. Nobody else gets squeezed. But they do. They do. Something's going to happen. Something's going to fucking happen to them. Good. How do I look? When I'm out of cigarettes, I'm going to blow my brains out. But I'll turn the stream off for you. Just because you're here, I'll turn the stream off. So I have a 308 rifle. And that's what I'm going to shoot myself right here with. Right there. And there's not a goddamn thing any of you can do to stop it. You think you can report it to YouTube. Next month, when they finally get to it, I'll be gone. And none of you know my real name. So you can't call the police. And if you did, you'd just get one of them killed. You know I've got a super magnum shotgun filled with light-filled slugs. Commander series, does that ring a bell to you? I can shoot through half-inch steel plate, and that's at 50 yards. Point blank, I can shoot through a fucking riot shield and armor. No one stops this. But I've never been able to tell the truth to anybody. It's like a release for me, you know? I mean, for the first time, I get to be honest. I get to tell the truth to people. For the first time in my life, I get to tell people, yes, I've always been very, very scared. I was very scared all the time. And I'm 38 and I'm still scared, and I'm always scared. I'm bipolar. It's a mental illness. There's no cure for it. And when you stack onto it complex grief, and when you add onto it military trauma, it gets so difficult that you can't fix that. A lot of people have come and then they left, and I deactivated the chat, and I deactivated their ability to communicate in any capacity. And people don't like that. I've been YouTubing for about 7 years. I know what you want and I know what you need, and this isn't one of those times that are for you. Everything that I did was for you people while I gave you my life. Everything that I did was for you. I gave you everything that I had. I gave you the best last years of my life. The best last years of my life I gave you. I've learned to love you. I do, and I love you. I learned to love people. And I finally learned how to accept people for what they are. And I finally learned how to accept the people that wanted to hurt me the most by bragging about their hard work and what they built with their hands. It took a lot of hard work to learn how to overcome arrogance like that and pride. A false dice, a trick dice. They roll it, but they always come up 6 and not 1. That's their pride. That's their lopsided token. 100% pride on one side and no humility on the other. Any attempts that they have to be humble, they destroy by just talking about their accomplishments. I learned that the most valuable lesson that I learned in my life is that your boys eat beef stew and you eat crackers and peanuts. And I learned that if you're to say anything about another person, that it should be to compliment them and to thank them and to make sure everybody understands that they're brave for continuing to go. That's what I've learned in my life. I'm not going to feel a fucking thing. Not one fucking thing will I see. Or will I feel. And no, I'm not doing this because of anything that happened in the Fallout community. Are you kidding me? Do you guys think that any of you guys could actually hurt me? I lost almost 20 years ago. You guys thought you were beating me? Some of you guys actually do. Some of you guys actually think you got the best of me. What you didn't realize is that I lost almost 20 years ago, and that killed me. And it made life not possible. It did. It made life not possible and not livable. Haha, nobody can triangulate my location. My phone's in airplane mode and it's off. And the only people listening don't know my real name. Haha. Which means they can't call the police. Which means I can't get swatted either. And this is going to be the night that I die, so that if you did swat me and someone died, you would get caught and you'd go to prison for life. You would. You'd go to prison for life, which means you can't even swat me. I'm a veteran. Do you really think that we couldn't crack all the phone lines? You really think you'd have anonymity with your ghost phone? You wouldn't have anonymity. Bottom line is they'd find a way to track it. You either bought it at Walmart, or you bought it at a Staples Center, or you bought it somewhere else. You bought it with cash or you didn't. Either way, that's trackable. Yeah, there's competition with about an extra 10 million of them that are out there in the United States, but they would catch you. It's a lot like freedom of information. You participate in a death spiral with somebody and the cops get involved and there's veterans, you're going to go to jail for life. Not jail, you're going to start in jail. And then you're going to go to prison. And you're going to get that ass taxed by you know who. You're going to get that ass taxed over and over and over and over and over again. Boy, you're going to get that sweet, tight little butthole of yours taxed. So the best thing that anybody can do is to just be here with me. I know it's funny. I'm good looking, right? You know, I'm one of the most handsome men in the world right now. It's true. I am. It is true. I'm one of the most handsome men in the world. Good looks don't make you happy. I have $16,000 in my account right now. Money doesn't make you happy. The only thing that matters is the best thing that you ever had and how you lost it. If you lost the best thing that you ever had, but it wasn't in a time of war, you can go on. But if you've lost the best thing you're ever going to have in a time of war, that's that. And then you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. So it is. And so it is. So if anybody comes through my door, they're going to get a bunch of slugs to the chest. And all I have to do is pull a string. I pull a string. You don't even see it, do you? You don't even see it. I mean, literally, the first time in my life I've had an honest conversation. I was always scared when I was in the Marine Corps, and I was always scared when I was in boot camp. I was always very scared. I was. And I was always and I still completed my service honorably, even though I had a mental breakdown. I never quit, and I deployed as well. And even though I had a mental breakdown, I still led a squad with 1-8 Bravo Company in Hurricane Katrina. I did. You can even see it online, 1-8 Bravo Company, Hurricane Katrina. The only picture that you're going to get is one of a half-track or an Amtrak or a landing vehicle track, and there's 2 Marines in that picture, one you can't see. One is PFC Leslie. He just got there from Camp Geiger. And the other one was Lance Corporal Bystricki. He's a war hero. And he's a sheriff. And he's still a hero and whom I hold the greatest respect for. and then the other guy that had red hair, he was famous because he's also a war hero. And he could make a sound like a donkey. You know, the donkey sound? He could make that really loud, and we loved him for it. I had a mental breakdown, and I was still able to carry my squad through Hurricane Katrina. And then I got combat replaced at 22 Easy Company. I went to Iraq and I served 22 Echo Company. And I led a squad there in Iraq too. Not very many people can say they led a squad in Iraq. I led lots of patrols with 22. Before they threatened to murder me in a gear locker 10,000 miles away. And then they systematically destroyed me. They sent me to Camp Guard so that I could watch Camp Fallujah. I should have been there with my fucking platoon. They ripped me away from my squad. They took me from my squad is what they did. And they stole my valor and they stole my honor in doing so. And they invalidated everything about my life. Had they not done that, I would have had my honor restored, and I could have asked for Josie's hand in marriage. And I would have had Josie then and there. And I would have had Josie. Josie, I had to think about how I was going to do this. I knew that there was no future for me and I had to kill myself, but the thing was, nobody ever knew the truth. Because I was always so scared and insecure about everything, I never told anybody the truth about the reality. So yeah, they're going to find out about you. Sorry, Josie. But the truth is, Josie, that the weight was too much. The weight was too much, and everybody just wanted me to just suffer. And boy, did I suffer. And everybody made it worse. And then everybody wanted to make it worse. And how nobody could live with what I did. I went 18 years after losing you, Josie. That's how far I went. If you could stack my footprints up, they'd reach to the sky. It's not too far when you just look at it flat on the earth. You'd say, oh, well, not too far. But when you add those footsteps up and you stack them up, yeah, my footsteps reach the sky. That's how magnificent it was for me to make it this far. Ah, poor babies, you can't rat me out. Ah, poor babies, if you do, you'll go to prison for life because I'll shoot a cop. Mm-hmm. Anybody interferes with this in a shop and a cop gets killed. Anybody interferes and I take a cop down with me, and you know I'm going to catch bullets. What, and then I'll rot in prison over this? That's how you want to win? That's how you want to fucking win? That's how everybody wanted to win. Mm. It's all right. I understand. Let's talk about but I was finally able to get the names out of those people. And this is how I've always felt, Josie. I always just felt really bad about losing you. So I have the rifle set up with a string. All I got to do is pull the trigger and I'm dead. I give the string a pull, and then that's that. I'm sorry, everybody. I am very sorry. I wanted to be more cheerful, but it seems like it's hard. I know that it's important that you eat beef stew, and I know that I should be eating crackers and peanut butter. And if there's beef stew left, then I get beef stew after you. I know that I should do everything for my brothers. I know that my brothers should have killed me in Iraq when they threatened to murder me. How could I live with that shame? I know that my brothers should have been with me when I lost Josie, but all they did was belittle me and horrify me. Hmm. Hmm. I'm so sorry, Dante. Believe me, Dante, I wanted more. Believe me, Dante, I wanted more. Ugh. I'm so sorry, Dante. I'm so sorry, Dante. You're a good young man, Dante. You were like a son to me, Dante. When I was with you, you made me think of Josie. Not your fault. You didn't even know. And I would think about Josie every time that you popped up because you'd be about the same age as our kid if we had one. 16, 17, 18 years old, something like that. Here I was, 38 years old. And you're just some young guy from another country. And man, did you suck at Fallout 2. You did. You sucked at Fallout 2. Everything you did was wrong. Your mouse work was bad. Your keyboard work was bad. You were bad. You sucked, Dante. You pissed me off. Made me so mad I could shake you. You pissed me off because you weren't playing the game well. So I'm like, get this kid the fuck out of here. At that time, I didn't see you like a son. That's when you were, I don't remember what your call sign was. Then you came back as Dante, but I knew it was you. And that's when I took you back in. And that's when to me, you became a son. Now the whole internet's gonna fucking hate me, Dante. They are. I'll be talked about for 48 hours. For 48 hours. And then I'll just be put into the dustbin. Man, people are gonna seethe with hatred over me. But they'll still be indifferent. They won't be exactly sure what they hate. They're going to know that everything that I did on my final day was really messed up. But I didn't kill anybody. I didn't go outside with a firearm. My phone records are real. I called a hospital in Oregon or California, and I asked for a medically assisted death. And they said I didn't qualify it. I've been a dead man for 18 years, and I don't qualify for that. Dante, get real. Every waking moment, I wish for death, and it scares me. I am. I'm such a pussy, Dante. I am. I get very scared. A woman held me the other day when I cried. You should have seen how hard. I cried like a baby. I did. We had to go inside. She had to hold me. I was shaking. She was like, shh. She had to shh me like a baby. I couldn't. I was shaking. Jesus Christ, was I hurt. She's, what do you call it? She is non-binary. What's funny is that she's non-binary and I'm bipolar. She's non-binary. He doesn't know how to identify her or himself. But I don't care. I told her that I wanted a medically assisted death and she's okay with that. I didn't want a violent death. Now, if people would have just let me just swallow a pill, this wasn't going to happen. Hey, because remember, you're all just thinking in your mind, hey, you work so hard, right? You work so hard. You never stop telling me how hard you work. That's how you wanted to win. If that's how you want to win, then the guy you outworked is going to find a way to beat you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how you want to win. That's how you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. It's how you want to win. That's how you're going to lose. It's all right. Yeah. I think people in the Fallout community thought that they were getting the best of me or something. I think that they saw what was happening to Wings of Redemption and they thought they could do that to me. There wasn't anything left for you to beat or to take. There wasn't. There was nothing left. None of you guys got to see me before I was sexually assaulted. None of you got to see me before that. All you ever saw was me after the sexual assault. You do understand I was a dead man walking. You couldn't possibly do anything that would hurt me. You couldn't do anything that would hurt me at that point. What could you have done to possibly hurt me? What could you have done to hurt me? All right. Yeah, buddy, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. I do get scared. I don't like spending time with my friends because I never get to tell the truth. All they do is show me what they built with their hands. And they don't understand that I have more than they do, and I'm not happy with what I've built. There's some channels that I reached out to, they were live streaming. If I wanted to, I could destroy those channels. And I wouldn't dare. They're young and they don't understand. And they don't have any life experience. If I were them, I would stop what I was doing and I would just focus on them. And chat would be largely muted so that I could work with them. And the reality is they'd probably end up still killing themselves. Would it have a negative effect on me if they did? No, not really, because I feel the same way. I understand how people feel. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Each one is expressing their own self-interest, their own rights, and their own ideology. You're going to have some conflict there. Mm-hmm. But now everybody understands that what I went through, you can't take. Man or a woman, you can't take the hits that I took. You're going to die. You're going to die. And a mercy kill was required. No one out there is going to raise their hand and say, I could take it. And you would be a fraud for the rest of your life, and your opportunities would be destroyed because everybody knows you're a fraud. I tell this to doctors now. I go, look, everything that happened to me is so bad that you have to commit suicide. You have to. You get sexually assaulted in a hospital, you're done. You're finished. Sorry, buddy. I like Josie. And I like to think about Josie all the time. That's what I like. I like to talk about Josie. I like to think about Josie. And I was muzzled for 18 years and I can't fucking take it. And God damn it, Josie, I love you. You beautiful fucking human being. I love you. And I've always worshipped the ground that you walked on. I've learned that love is different as you get older. When we're young, it's all very hot, very hot. And as you get older, it gets cooler. Sure, love gets super hot and passionate again, because Josie, you know it cures headaches as well as I do. But you end up just holding hands more and enjoying more time because that's your partner, that's your lover. Mental help as well. I do miss my baby. I 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 do. I miss my baby. I want to hold your hands, Josie. I do. I want to hold your hands. I want to hold your hands all the fucking time, Josie. There's not a minute that goes by that I don't wish I was holding your hand. All I think about at all times is holding your hand. Holding your hand, holding your hand, holding your hand, holding your hand, holding your hand. Holding your hand, holding your hand, holding your hand, holding your hand. If you were here right now, would you hold my hand? Nothing was because of you, I'll tell you that much, Josie. This is all because of me, because I was so weak. And because I was a failure, and I still am. That's why this is happening. This is just all that's happening, Josie, is this is what you do to somebody who's had this kind of a life. You can't continue to live because it'll just kill you. I was going to get a degenerative brain disorder. I was going to have a stroke. You should have seen me while I was crying in that woman's lap the other day. When I made it back home, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. My heart was pounding through my chest and I felt dizzy and everything was slow. Josie, I'll get so sick that I will die. It's inevitable. I'll have a heart attack or a stroke. And I know you wouldn't want that. I speak for you on this issue, Josie. I know you wouldn't want that. And I know you wouldn't want to see me abusing my power here. I said what I had to say. I said my piece. I said my piece. And my piece is good and my word is true. My mom knows I'm going to blow my fucking brains out. She knows. And she ain't going to do a goddamn thing about it because she knows better. Because she knows that if our boys in blues snatch and grab me again and throw me in a fucking tower again for another 3 or 4 weeks, that I'll come back and they'll just do it again. And you say, oh, well, they'll just take my firearms. Well, you know I can buy a muzzle loader in the mail. I can even buy pistols, right? And you say, oh, well, then we'll just watch what he orders. Really? You're going to watch what I order? Because you know I'm going to blow my brains out one way or another sooner or fucking later. And I don't like the idea of dying a poison death. And I'd rather just get a clinically assisted one. These are the feelings I've held for the past 18 years, Josie. For 3 years, I couldn't even get out of my bed. I grieved for you so hard. And you saw how much space I gave you. For 18 years, I gave you space, Josie. And now for one day, I speak. And you'll cry for what, a day? You'll have mixed feelings for a day, knowing that it's not your fault and you couldn't stop this? You know you're never even going to see this fucking video, Josie. It's going to get wiped clean. It'll be like it never happened. Like it never even fucking happened. My mom's going to give you a message on Facebook chat, and you either will or you won't answer it. That's up to you. And I have wanted a hug, and I have craved a hug for you for 18 years, Josephine. 18 fucking years I've wanted a hug from you. That's all I have wanted. While people have told me I'm selfish, that I'm a narcissist, that I'm lazy, I served my country and lost everything and got stabbed in the back more times than I can count. And I'm a fucking narcissist? I've been stabbed in the back by my country more times than I can count. And I'm lazy? People have expectations for me, Josie? You are my sweet. I die tonight with you on my mind. You give me clarity in all things that I do, and you've helped me fight for the past 18 years, but I'll be God mother fucking damned if you don't understand that I wanted a hug from you for 18 goddamn years and I never got it. And I was too fucking scared to give you a call because my brothers had warped my brain. They did, Josie. They fucking did. My baby. My baby. I love you, my baby. Here I call for you. Here I never stop calling for you, my love. I love you until the moment I die. And even then, I'll search for you in the next life. I will. I will find you, Josie, in the next life. Hey, you know what's weird is that it might start over for me, and I might get another chance. You think I'll burn in hell for eternity? Do you know how defiant I'll be in hell? How angry I will be? Josie, I want to serve you, but only in the capacity that you want and you need and you love. Whatever it is. Whether it's if it's a bodily desire, not only will I do it, Josie, but I'll love it. I will. Anything that you want, anything you desire, and I would do for you happily. Anything. And I wouldn't stop until you were happy, and I would enjoy it. I would find peace knowing that you were happy. If it's an emotional desire, of course I would be for you there, and I am there for you. Here in the void, I am for you for eternity, my love. And all I think about is you. Here in the void, there's me and one other guy, and we've been floating around here for the past 18 years. He never talks. He's a very solitary man. There's just two of us in the void. He seems to be quite happy. And I never have been content here in the void. I've not been content in the void. I didn't do well in the void, my love. Of course, anything that you said, and I would detect it if there was an urgency that you needed my love. Say you were having a hard day at work, and there was a snack, and it was a croissant, and then you ate it. Well, you are going to need to talk to me about it to see how I felt. Would I would I shame you into not eating it again? Or would I recognize that you're a hardworking woman and you're tasked with many difficult things, and sometimes you need a croissant, and sometimes you need a Danish, and sometimes you need a cookie, and yes, you're going to put on a few pounds. But those are love pounds, and of course I would be there for you and your precious pounds. Who would I be? who would I be? Who would I be if not there for you and your precious pounds that you might gain as a woman who has a holy desire to eat cookies and danishes and sweets? Mhm. Of course, I would even love you still, my love, and I would. Nothing that you said would deter me. And then you would find 100,000 different ways to challenge my love, and I would always come back with the same retort that I don't really care about how you look, although you're precious and sweet and super smart and intelligent, and you're super beautiful and pretty, and then you wear the best dresses and you're the best, and that I would love you, even still. And then you would do it again. Something else would happen. Your family would come up or one of your friends, and you'd need to know that I loved you and I would love you. And I would. I would always love you. Here in the void, I love you forever. And I always do call for you here. I always call for you here in the void. I always call for you here in the void. But I'm going to go into the next world. And I might even be able to start over with you again. If I did, do you think I would do it right next time? Next time I keep you for sure. We do, and we have lots of little precious babies, and we do. And we do. We have precious babies all the time. In the next world, we do. That's when I get you. In the next world. And say you needed intellectual love. Well, I know you. And I know that sometimes you have challenges. And sometimes this world is very complex and that you don't have answers. And I'm here to tell you that I don't have answers. I don't have answers for you, my love. I don't. What I have for you is patience. No one's more patient with you than me. And I do, and I have patience for you. And here, whatever you're interested in figuring out, I'm interested in figuring out. I am. See, boys, I'm with Josie now. You never did get to see me with her. And I do, and I love her. And even if you felt unsure, or even if you did something that was stupid, I would never say anything to correct you, but to give you my love and to build you up and to reassure you that you are the fire in my life and that things are tough and answers are often unavailable. And sometimes what's needed is a team. And sometimes you're in a team and nobody knows what to do. But I think that if you're patient and if you love each other, then you can figure out anything that you want to know. Anything you want to know. I hope that's the answer you're looking for, because that's all I could figure out is I'd give you a big hug and I'd hold your hand and I'd rest your head on my lap and I would run my fingers through your hair. And I would hold your hand and I would squeeze your hand. And I would give you side rubs and belly rubs as well. I would. I would. I would. I would. And I would. And we would talk and we would talk and we would talk and talk and talk. We would. You're all I ever think about. I talked about you to the boys all the time. I did. For years, they saw me struggle, and I would go into immense bouts of grief and depression. And they would more or less support me during that time. But I was finished. The boys, they understand now. Now that they understand. Josie, if only I had honor, I would have called you, but I just didn't have it. That's all I wanted. If I had honor and if I had valor, then I could have called you back, but I was scared. Mm-hmm. But I always think about you. Always. I just wanted to distinguish myself in Iraq, but I didn't. But if I did, I would have called you back. I would have. I wouldn't have been scared then. If only I was a hero. Mm-hmm. If only I was a hero. Audio check. If only I was a... That's a good audio check. If only I had you. Mm-hmm. I love you all so much. You're all so good, and you were so good for me. You were so good to me. Everybody was. I do. I love you so much. You were so good, and you'd spend so much time with me, and you never even knew how bad I felt, and you would spend that time with me. You're all such good people. Mm-hmm. You're all good people, and I love you. Each and every single one of you. I do. Mm-hmm. With Josie, I do. Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. Oh, Josie. So, I started a YouTube channel, and it's called Fall Entertainment Industries, and I freak the fuck out all the time, and I'd talk about you, and I would panic, and I get really depressed and suicidal. Sorry about that, Josie, but it's the truth. I would. How could I pick up after myself? I couldn't. So they would carry me because I'd get upset all the time, and I'd scare everybody away, and then they would come back, and I'd do it again, and it would never stop. It never stopped. That's the problem, Josie, is it never stopped. Mm-hmm. But I always told them that I would meet you again and I would see you again and that all I cared about was you. Over and over and over again, and I would talk about you to my boys. They're my kids. I was like a daddy. I was. With you, I could have been a daddy. I wouldn't have been a good one. But then once I got into my late 30s and having lost everything and then survived that sexual assault, I felt like I could have been a father to any man, woman, and child. I felt like I just had, like, I was a national treasure of experience, my love. And I thought that I could be a father to these people. But the problem was, well, I went nuts. I did, and I went crazy. I did. And most people didn't like it, but some people understood and they would support me. But I'd get so mad, and they didn't know why. They didn't know I was sexually assaulted. And they didn't know I was sexually assaulted while I was grieving for you. And they didn't realize that now every time, and obviously I have post-traumatic stress from that assault, and that brought up images of you. And then that made it so that well, Josie, you understand that at that point, there was no going on anymore. That's what happened. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But my boys, I am with my Josie now. I am. I do. I hold your hand. I'm holding your hand, Josie. I won't tell your dad, but we're going to go make out. We will. We will. First thing I do when I see you on the other side, I'm going to go, you're the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I let something fall through my hands once, and the burden of living through having lost that thing pains me to this day. And I've walked a low, low road without your love. And I would reach for your hand. And I would say that in that low, low road, I learned all the most valuable lessons in this life. And how a man should think, and how a man should behave, and how a man should treat other people, and how a man should be in love and respect a woman. And I would tell you that I would never do any of those things again for you. And I would live my remaining life not being a slave to you or an indentured servant, and not being unrealistic with anything, but I would always work to find more and new ways and explore new paths to love you more, no matter what you did or said. And if it was love, if it was intimacy that you needed, and I would give you myself. And if it was mental assistance that you needed, and I would be there and I would support you. And if it was intellectual, I would be there to help you grow. And in no way, shape, or form would I ever be an anchor to you or a break to you. And I would always be there for you, and I wouldn't let you slip through my fingers. And I would give you your space, and I would give you room. And everything that I did, it would be for you. And I would become so strong and so glorious in my love for you. Everybody would think that I was a strong man and they had to follow me. And I would just tell them that you were the source of my strength, and that I don't deserve it, nor would it even be correct to be prideful in anything that I did, with your love as my guide. I would tell you this. And I would stand before your parents and I would proudly deliver the same message, and I would be there for them too. And I would say everything just right. And I wouldn't lose you that time. And we would go make out somewhere, and it would be hot. It would be so hot. It would, Josie. You know how hot it gets. It gets pretty hot. It does get pretty hot. Yeah. It does get very hot. So without you, being in the Marine Corps was really hard. And I always thought about you all the time and what you were doing. And I didn't have my words back then. I didn't, because I lost my mind and I couldn't do anything that was right. And I would think about you every time I was in a psych ward, and I would talk about you all the time. And everywhere I went, well, it was a psych ward, I would talk about you, but nobody knew outside. No one knew from my school. And my mom didn't even know. My mom just found out how much I loved you. She didn't even know. I'm good with secrets. 20 years ago, your father poured me a glass of wine on Christmas. I had just gotten back from boot camp, and it was Christmas when I came back. Your father poured me a drink at the dinner table after you played the piano for me. Your father asked me what I thought about that sip. John, I want to tell you right now, there was the single most influential moment of tasting in my life. There was a sandy, gritty quality to it. Elements that were well beyond my reach at that time to talk about. I had mentioned that I thought it tasted just like a bad old beer. That's not how it tasted, John. It had notes of sweetness, yet it was creamy. The granules of whatever was left behind in that ancient glass you poured it from lay like silk in the taste buds on my tongue. It was like silk. It tasted so good running down my throat, and it was so great in my belly. It was warm, and it was delicious. Had I tasted it now, the way I would have experienced it would have been different. I would have swished that taste of wine around my mouth. I would have felt its essence on my teeth, and as it cooled my teeth or warmed them, or as it irritated my teeth subtly and activated the nerves. I would have swished it through my teeth so that it ran between my teeth and the very gums that hold my teeth together. And I would have let that silt rest in between my teeth as a further lesson of its flavor, to savor it and contemplate its complexities at a later time. I would have let that flavor linger in my mouth as it swished into my cheeks, and I would have let my cheeks swell to the bursting point so that the taste buds on my cheeks from the pressure of it all would have just started to separate, and the blood vessels between buds would have been exposed to that alcohol and that wine, and that grit would have been trapped between those taste buds. I would have rubbed that flavor on the roof of my mouth with my tongue, and I would have allowed the roof of my mouth to experience the grittiness of it all and to savor another sense of sweetness or bitter or whatever note it was. And then I would have swished it to the other side of my mouth, back over my tongue, endlessly swishing from one side to the other until my mouth was 9 parts saliva and 1 part wine. And even then, in that moment, it would have just softened it and warmed it to a greater glow. It would have been a beacon of hope in my soul. John, I've spent the past 20 consecutive years grieving over your daughter's love and poring over what that taste of the wine was like. It's all I've ever thought about. Your daughter's love, your daughter's hand, and that single sip of wine. I would have made a great son to you and a great husband. Unfortunately, I would have lost my mind either way, and you guys would have been stuck caring for me as I destroyed Josie's life. I would have destroyed her life, John and Josephine. I would have destroyed her whole. And I guess I just would have continued to take her body. In the state I was in, what good was I for love? I only understood love of the body at that time. Love of the body. Josie, I've learned that a man cannot be obsessed with a woman's body. I am obsessed with your heart, and I am obsessed with your mind, and I am obsessed with your love. And I never gave a good goddamn about your money. Here I sit on a tower of cash. And never has money been something that I really championed. Money was always easy for me to get and to keep because without you, I had nothing to spend on myself. And it was so easy for me to save up my money and work hard while others were working hard and blowing their shot. Because without you, I had nothing to put my precious money into. So I just let it build up. I know that this video is going to get scrubbed, but obviously it's my will that you know the truth. I was. God, I'm going to tell her the truth. You and I wrestled for 18 years over this. I lost my fucking mind. Did you find a way to use me, God? Did I do anything for you? Or am I just a narcissist? I went 18 years for you. And I let everybody have peace in that time. They did. I have a shotgun on my lap. It's loaded with dinosaur killers. The hardest hitting shotgun ammo in the world. They discontinued it because it's so powerful. It's called Light Field Commanders. It'll go clean through a grizzly bear from head to asshole. It will. It will. Well, it'll travel basically about. Well, it's going to travel from head to asshole. And if you hit a bear in the chest with it, it's going to die. And if you hit the bear in the head, then it's an instant death. Anywhere near the spine is an instant death. I'm going to shoot a cop in the chest if I get raided. I will. I'm going to pump 4 slugs right into his chest. He's going to die. He's going to die. But that's if they come in here. Here in the void, I'm safe in my home. You boys in blue, you goons in blue, you adolescent ignorant fools. The Canandaigua VA Medical Center sent you to my fucking house when I was grieving over Josie and a sexual assault. What the fuck could you idiots have done? You don't even understand. What are you going to do? Tell me it's all right? Bottom line, you were going to scoop me up into an ambulance and take me away. Frauds. And every little bit of that's a lie, and everybody knows it. You're fucking goons. And guess what I'm going to do when one of you comes into my house to try to stop this? I will use all of my ammo to kill you. I will. And then I'll be shot and killed. But I'll stand over you, victorious for that 1 second. You know I can shoot clean through your riot shield with these light field commanders, right? And even if I didn't, your hands would be broken. And if you didn't have a shield, I'd shoot you in the chest, and whether you wore a vest or not, you would definitely die. You would. You can't tank a light field commander. You can't. Nothing can stop a light field commander. It is it. Way deadlier than a 45-70. It's coming. Well, let's take a look at the ballistics of these commanders. Let's take a look at what one of you pigs are going to get shot in the chest with if you stop this. Here it is. 3.5 inch. 3.5 inch light field commander. See, here's the box. Light field commanders. 12 gauge, 3.5 inch. 600 grains, 1,890 feet per second. 4,759 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Out the barrel? Are you fucking kidding me? You can't tank that. You can't. See, Josie? You and I both know that there's no other way for this. The only way now, since nobody killed me and nobody gave me mercy, is to just take myself. But since everybody understands, Jesus Christ, I need to vent, this is happening. I never went out and wasted a bunch of people. I'm just going to waste myself. But this is how I've always felt about you, Josie. Always. That's how I've always thought about you. No one was going to take me seriously. Josie, I did. I tried. I tried to get legal help. Nobody would listen to me. They all justified a sexual assault. They did. You think I just you think I just now started to get help for that? 7 years ago, after it happened, I went to the VA. I told them about it. They normalized it. They legitimized it. They validated that. They exonerated that behavior. How was I supposed to live when the VA medical center in my home fucking town where I went to school and graduated was going to do that? And my intestines got decayed and I was losing blood very rapidly all the time. The boys, they know that. And nobody understood why I was bleeding so much. The trauma gave my body a disease, Josie. Josie, I was going to die one way or the other. It was either going to be I was going to have a heart attack or a stroke. I was going to die from blood loss from ulcerative colitis, which definitely did for a fact start the day after the assault at Rochester General. Or I was going to have, I don't drink, so I could have been, there were days I drove where I only had the energy to go out for about an hour and I'd be dizzy while driving. But I need to have a life. There were days, oh my God, my stomach was grumbling and I would have to run to the toilet. There were years where just for me to go to the supermarket, I'd have to use the bathroom and I would lose a lot of blood. And then I'd walk out to my car and my stomach would start grumbling. I'd have to go back to the bathroom and lose a lot of blood. And then I'd have to take a shower and then go and use the bathroom again and I would be done and I would just have to go into bed. And then there were days where I'd drive, I was just dizzy from the blood loss. It's true. The VA knows about it. The VA knows all too well about the blood loss, and they know how afraid I was to go get help because I didn't want to get scooped up and molested again. They wonder why I would only call and just tell them how I was struggling and beg for help and I wouldn't go into the hospital. I was fucking terrified of doctors and nurses. I had post-traumatic stress. Josie, what was I supposed to do? I couldn't go and get help. I was afraid of them. Two cigarettes left. You see this, boys? You see this, Joe Biden? If one of your boys fuck with me tonight, I'm gonna drill 4 of these commanders into his chest. That motherfucker dies. I shit you fucking not. And no, I'm not gonna aim it at anybody else. Just that one guy. He wants to be on point. He wants to be Johnny on the spot, and you want to use him like that? That's how you want to win? That's how you're gonna lose. That's how you're gonna fucking lose. So don't fuck with me, Biden. Don't send your fucking boys. Now, Ford family. For this, and for the secrets that I hold, in light of the way I lost Josie, in light of the way that others won, in light of how much I begged for Josie, And you know I begged, and Josie knows I begged, and we begged, and we begged, and got nothing from you? What do you think you ought to do? You started a chain of fucking events. Ford family. I had high expectations for you, Ingle Fords. Real high expectations for you. I don't know what you're going to do, but I think what you ought to do is give all of your campaign contributions to my mother. Give all of your campaign contributions that you're going to give to Biden or whoever, and that you're going to give to the Republicans, whoever that is. It looks like it's going to be Trump. So you're ordinarily going to give 1.2 million to Trump, and you were going to give 1.4 million to Joe Biden or whoever won, because you had to virtue signal. You're all Republicans, but you know that if you only gave your money to the Republicans, that you couldn't sell cars. And that's a fact. And in light of that fact, since we all know it, you're going to give all of that money to my mother. So I'm expecting you to give my mom about $3 million fucking dollars too goddamn late. Trump, you're going to fight for a right to die. You're going to fight for a right for veterans who are obviously fucking dead and riddled with mental illness, shock and horror and depression, to have a way to take a pill to get killed. A medically assisted death for veterans. That's where it starts. Donald Trump, if you were in my shoes, you would have killed yourself 18 fucking years ago, and you'll do that for me because everybody knows it. Same with you, Biden. Everybody fucking knows it. And because I'm going to get fucking buried, and everybody knows it. That's why this is going to fucking happen. Boy, these commanders, though. Woo! At 150 yards, they still have 1,611 foot-pounds of energy. At 150 yards. Woo! That's knockdown power. I thought about blowing my brains out with these light fields. But that's too much fucking power. Mm-hmm. Too much fucking power. Mm-hmm. No one wants to stop by. Man. All the time I spent with all you guys. And I die begging to hold someone's hand. I die begging to hold someone's hand. Begging for a hug. That's how I went down. Haha, no one's going to be able to find out my location. Haha. I do finally get my exit, Josie. I do. When the first time I went into a psych ward, I was only 22 years old. And I begged to be killed. And I begged for your love. And I begged to be killed, and they wouldn't kill me. And for another 17 or 18 years, I wandered the earth. I begged them to kill me, and they wouldn't do it. Thanks for being here. Give me a thumbs up if you're here, if you're signed in. Let me know that you're here. I know I've muted the chat and I took away your ability to see the likes and the thumbs down. I know I did that, but you have to understand I'm going to commit suicide. So I couldn't have that. Give me a fucking thumbs up for Christ's sake. Well, that's all I've got to say. I'm going to listen to some tunes. To my family, I love you with all my heart, and I forgive you for your vanity. I'll overlook your pride. If you'll overlook this. All the impression I ever got from any of you was how hard you worked and how hard you worked. And I'm so happy that you were able to work hard. And I'm so happy that you're so tough. And it makes me so happy to know that if you were in my shoes, you wouldn't be. And it really did take a mountain of your strength to chip me down to fucking nothing. But I still love you. There's not going to be an open casket. But I do love you. But obviously there's no way that we can have a relationship. Knowing what you know now, what I think about you, could you even tolerate being in the same room as me? Knowing that you all infuriate me. Knowing that your hubris was attacked directly on me and my loss of everything. It's true. And all my friends, you just told me about how hard you worked and how successful you were, but you never put any skin in the game, did you? Remember, Canandaigua, this is how you wanted to win. You wanted to send your worst. I graduated with a 66.5 GPA, and you were all too happy to wave goodbye. This is how you're going to lose. I'm not a bad man. I love my family. I just can't tolerate spending any time with them. And I do get sick in their presence. I do. I get physically ill and I get mentally hurt. And then I get really mentally hurt for several days afterwards. That's how sick they make me. They make me sick. I have nowhere to go. I'm afraid of police that they'll just screw me over. I'm afraid of doctors and nurses because they will hurt me. I'm threatened by my friends because they don't understand and they don't know the truth and they couldn't possibly understand. I lost my whole city. I came from Canandaigua and I can't go back. and my family intimidates me. I have nothing. And I'm a veteran. I'm supposed to be proud. No matter how shocked and horrified I am, I'm supposed to be proud, and I'm not. I've had my valor and my honor stolen, ripped right off of my fucking chest. I want a combat action ribbon awarded to me when I'm dead. President Biden, sir, please. You don't think word's getting around about me? Nobody knows where I'm at. Nobody can do anything. They literally don't know where I'm at. I could be anywhere right now. Nobody knows. I'm running my finger over my super magnum, and I'm not talking about my dick. I'm a licensed trapper, a licensed fisher, and a licensed hunter, and I desire to do no harm to animals. My brothers would hurt me, and they would trick me, and they would belittle me and berate me, and they would stab me in the back and poison me and backbite me, and they never gave me an opportunity to answer with my fist, nor did they ask for it. Our new rule in the United States Marine Corps is that if you'll do that to somebody and you don't give them, and if you don't ask them to fight you, and if you won't give them a fair audience with their fist, then you are hereby labeled a coward and a disgrace, and you should either be killed or discharged. The old rules of hazing are over. You do anything negative to a Marine, and you give him lend him your chest, or you'll sit back to back, butt to butt on the ground with him, and on the count of 3, you're going to go fucking hog wild. And if you won't do that, and if you won't give him that, then you're a coward, and you're hereby dishonorable. Well, Josie, I fucking love you with all my goddamn heart, and I love my family with everything that I have. And I love everybody in the Fallout community, and I love all my friends. And sadly, none of you were there for me in the capacity that I needed, and in my insanity, I was unable to be there in the capacity that you needed. My life, this life, is simply a fucking tragedy. A fucking tragedy. Not a comedy in any way. A goddamn worthless fucking tragedy. I love you all. Have a great life.